Hi guys, welcome to Shine with Njoki Kamanja Kevi. Thank you so much because you pressed play and it shows that you're on the right channel and you're here to learn, you're here to be educated, you're here to be informed. And I am so grateful because of this topic. It is a topic that is personal to me, and it is a topic that I love because I have seen many women on this journey of being a stay-at-home mom, and I want us to erase the stigma around them. I want us to talk to them so that they can be in a good mental state as they stay at home and take care of their hopes. So stay tuned as we engage with our counselor, Trizah macharia. Shine with Njoki Kamanja Kevi. So now, I have experienced in my life being a stay-at-home mom, and I know what it takes to be a stay-at-home mom. You wake up in the morning, take care of the husband, he goes to work, you continue, vyombo number one, and it's the same thing you'll do tomorrow, the other day, and the other day. That one can take a toll on you mentally, because you are doing the same thing, the same thing. It can be even boring. So, tell us, like, how can you help yourself not to go through the same routine as much as you're at home? Because you know you need maybe a change. You have a tip, give us a tip on how not only washing utensils, staying with the children, going outside and basking, and then come back. Now the kid is supposed to be fed. Now it's 4 p.m. akunywa uji. Now it's time to cook supper and go to sleep. Because I know, because of the routine, that is why sometimes it takes a toll on them mentally.
For some people, Njoki, routines are not a problem. And that's why we employ house helps. See, they do the same thing over and over and over. But for some people, based on personality, the way you feel empowered, the dreams you have, you might feel like you're wasting your life. You know, you wonder, and it's not just then. I think everyone at some point in life gets to that place of asking yourself, is this all there is to life? So once you get there as a stay-home mom, most ladies go into depression. So you find even the second baby, mtu akupata postpartum depression, but after the second baby, somebody just begins to act weird. They become depressed and they begin to neglect themselves, to even neglect the house. Because when you do something routinely that you're not enjoying, somehow it begins to become tiresome. I don't know whether you have had that experience of vyombo ziko hapo, ni vikombe tatu. Ni tatu. Zenye ungeosha uondoe ugoje
zikuje kwa kitu unajiuliza.
But you find somebody has piled utensils the whole day and they were there. Sometimes it's because routine, like you're saying, can be depressing for some people, especially if you're not wired for it. My daughter tells me, kujifanya, because I tell her, me, I'm not wired for some of these things. And there are people, let's appreciate, there are people who are not wired for some things. At the risk of sounding lazy, but I do a lot of work, but I know there are things I don't enjoy doing. So for a stay-at-home mom, for you to take care of yourself, first you need to have very good social support. Don't leave yourself locked up in the house with the routines alone. I hear ladies who complain when their house girls associate with other house helps, don't want house girls who go out for off. But let me tell you, routines without interaction, it can lead you to a very bad mental state of stress.
It's true.
So associate with other mothers. You know, look for things that get you out of the house. Fellowships, and in some churches there are even day fellowships for those stay-home moms. So carry your baby, go for the fellowships. Sometimes go for walks. Have a good plan out time for your work, so that you break it, it stops being routine. Ati si kila siku nifue nguo, nioshe nyumba. There are days sanne tulale, tukiamuka tuanue nguo, tukunje, tupige pasi. Ifike saa 10 tupike. Those things can be draining to you mentally, so that even the things you knew, unafika mahali ulisahau.
Unashinda ukiuliza, babe nikuulize, ati Uhuru ndo president.
Even things you knew, things that came easy for you to do. If you don't continue to utilize your mind, you begin to go backwards. So engage in social support, get out there with the girls, have friends that you can visit once in a while. Organize your work in such a way that you're not doing the same thing over and over and over again, so that it doesn't become mentally exhausting. So you can have days that I don't fua, but I just clean the bedrooms, so that the house remains tidy and you move on. Get social support, organize your work in such a way that it's not the same routine over and over. The third thing is try to keep yourself mentally growing. Don't just watch soap operas.
Or you have Wi-Fi and you are there trolling people's social media.
You're always doing. You are there looking at people who are making money. You know.
You are there watching the life of the YouTubers who are telling us about their house tour. It is okay to watch a house tour, but please watch something
watch something else that grows you. Engage even in reading of books. The other day I was telling someone I want to challenge myself to ensure that every week there's a book I put down. Because I have a bookshelf full of books. Some of them I've never read. But I went to town, looked at the topic, somebody recommended, I bought. I shelved. But I need to get time to make sure that I'm growing my mind. So every week, ensure that when the babies are asleep, what am I doing to grow myself? So put down a routine. You can even engage in exercises. Exercises are a good way of mental care. So it will help you get rid of the baby fat. It will also help you to maintain your fitness. So self-love, self-care above even care of other people and care of other things. But at the stage where most mothers are stay-at-home moms, it is also good to realize that the kids will go away. So what will I be doing when the last one has gone to school? Will I stay here in the house after I've cleaned the house and ironed and everything is done? Will I just sit here and wait for the children to come back? So you're also asking yourself,
what else after
this? If you have a husband who is able to support you go back to school, you can enroll in classes online classes. I belong to one such class where we have a stay-home mom, and sometimes in the middle of answering the question,
kid passes.
Kanakuja, mom na mimi
salimia shosho.
That's a stay-at-home mom who's making sure that she has a future, that your future is not just taking care of babies. So engage in growth. Engage in
Actually, I follow a lady, and I think I could recommend her. She's Susie's Homestead. She teaches you about things you can just do at home for business. Personally, I make detergents. I call 1 or 2 people, they buy, I make my 100 bob, I am good. She has so many tips on how you can do business at the comfort of your home. And she's all about family. So you can check out Susie's Homestead if you're outside there and you're a stay-home mom. And also if you are just a mom, she's all about moms.
And you see she has learned before she's teaching.
And actually she works 8 to 5, but she's still doing the same. Let's now talk to husbands. Some husbands will even make their wives get depressed because they are showing them that what you're doing is nothing. You're only here changing pampers. What are you telling me? How can they support their wives who are taking care of kids? Because in African setup, we don't have stay-at-home dads mostly. But in the American setup, I hear there are more of those. So let's talk to the husband, to these women.
You know, these men should realize if taking care of children was such an easy thing, then nobody should be paid to do it. But if we are paying nannies as much as 10,000, 20,000 just for the purpose of taking care of your children and your home, that means it is job. It is a work, you know. So they should never take it for granted, take women for granted who have sacrificed a business
a
to
career.
stay at home. In fact, if these husbands would know what these women are doing. And I have a friend of mine, I may not mention her by name, but the husband just told the wife, I appreciate the work you're doing there, but I want you to be the one who takes care of my children.
Wow.
So I will be paying you the salary your boss pays you to stay home.
That one, create a WhatsApp group and fill all the men inside.
To stay home and take care of the babies.
Yeah.
When the last born went to school,
Yeah.
actually when the firstborn went to school, the husband even said, I don't want, because you're at home, why don't you be picking the babies from school?
Yeah.
And she's bought a car, it is fueled.
Wow.
She gets an allowance at the end of the month, because that man appreciates that taking care of your children, raising you,
it's not an easy task.
People to take up your legacy, who are mentally fit. It takes a woman who has sacrificed.
Yeah.
So it is a job that should actually be paid.
Actually, the government said that stay-at-home moms should be given an allowance.
It is true.
And the internet went wild, like, why should we pay them? Why are they asking? But at the same time, I want us to tell both parties. You know, sometimes you might ask for an allowance to somebody who has no money even to give you that allowance. So, number one, you have said that an allowance is okay.
Yeah, it is.
How do we tell these parties on how to give, how much is too much as an allowance? It depends.
Depends on how much your husband is earning. Yeah, kama huyo si unasikia amenunuliwa mpaka gari. And the car just takes the children to Brighton school and brings them back.
Wow.
Yeah, and takes them to school in the morning, comes back home to take care of the chores. And the husband didn't want the interference of the sanctity of their home, and also did not want to risk their children suffering abuse in the hands of house helps. So the man said, I want to raise my boys, but I want you to be the one who does them.
Wow.
I will pay you what your boss is paying you. And that man is consistent. That when his salary comes in, there is, wanaitanga nini, the one that you just notify the bank. The bank notifies you that this money came in, but it has been directed.
Yeah, there's a way they do like a direct payment to the other account.
Yeah. So that woman, they never even argue about the husband.
This time niaje.
Hujanipatia. Pana, this man appreciates what work, what effort this woman does in taking care of the home. Na hauibiwi, sabuni yako haikui wasted. And I'm not saying that all house girls do that. But there is a level of way expenditure goes up when it's not you who's taking care of things at home. So this man appreciates that. And because this woman is willing, she should be given something. Now, how much you should give as a man should be dependent on how much you're earning.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it should be dependent, because you're not even just paying her the same amount. You house girls wanalipwa 5,000, nitakuwa na kulipa 5,000. She's doing more than what your house help, an ordinary house help should do. Yeah. So I think an amount cannot be set of a minimum or maximum. Kuna mtu labda wanakaa slums, and the best the husband can do is give her 2,000.
Yeah, go and make your hair.
Yeah. Not going to make your hair. Where? That's your
not
husband's responsibility to make you look beautiful for him.
Wow.
Yeah, so the allowance should be the money that is mine to decide what I want to do with it. Yeah, and it is such appreciation. I don't know if your husband came and told you, this 5,000 I'm giving you this month.
Do what you want.
Do what you want with it. It is in appreciation. Thank you for taking care of my boys.
And there's
thank
power
you for
in the money. The way somebody feels. So you see that M-Pesa message. I think M-Pesa message is a love language.
Because this woman, and if you don't give her that allowance, this woman is broke in the house. Why wouldn't she fall into temptation? Ukiwa kazi huko, aende sokoni apatane na mtu wa stima, mtu wa nyama mwenye anamkatia kanusu, anamwambia ako ni kako, enda kula. You're exposing that woman to temptation. So just show appreciation.
Now let's talk to this to friends, to neighbors who stigmatize such women, because you'll hear some of them. Like, I had a case of a friend. She, on top of her being a stay-at-home mom, the husband, so it's okay to bring a house help so that they can help you, because our children are under 3, and I think it's overwhelming. And then one day somebody asked, You have a house help and you're staying at home. That's being lazy. And you see, it would feel so bad for people and now start stigmatizing that you are being lazy, so you should just do your work from morning to evening and die of work. How do we talk now to the society on how to stop stigmatizing these women?
I think first is removing stigma from the stay-home moms and making them realize that what they are doing is actually the most important work. There is no point of you raising children with house helps, all of them wakunywe bangi baadaye. What work will you have done? Wangari Maathai said at the end of her life, when she was asked whether there is anything she regrets, she said the one thing she regrets is that she was never there enough for her family. So taking care of a family is actually a very beautiful thing if it could be appreciated. And it used to be appreciated. Some of the mothers who brought up some of us...
Actually, most of us are from stay-home moms.
And look at the people who are brought up by their mothers. There is a difference. There is a difference between those generations. The generations are house helps. It is now that we are having people who have become psychopaths. Watu wanaenda wakiua. Why? Children were... Have you seen some of the clips of house girls' mistreatment of our children? So I'd rather be stigmatized
and take
by
care
people
of my children. They are
and
my children.
make sure that my children in their formative years have me around and they are getting the best care possible. For the people who are stigmatizing others, ask yourself, are you sure? Are you sure?
Is it
given a chance, you would not want to be that mother. Because some people it's being envious. Ameamua akae tu nyumbani afakaange hivyo. Wewe uliraise watoto na house girls, you were never there for your children, now your children are wrecks. And I'm not saying all children brought up by house girls become wrecks. Because there are also mothers who are working but make enough time for their children. But in this society, what are the chances that you'll get somebody who's completely stable?
Because actually, when I hear people stigmatizing these women, I always ask myself, but most of us are coming from that.
Stay-home moms.
Okay, me, I was brought up by house helps, of which me, I understand my parents 100%. They are career people, and they used to know how to balance between work and us. But at the same time, most of the people who surrounded us are people who came from stay-at-home moms who would anaenda shamba, come back, cook lunch for them, go back to work, then come back and take care of them. And those, when it comes to spirituality, they are A1. When it comes to them having respect to their elders, they were so good. So for me, when I see people stigmatizing them just because we have evolved to a place where we have parents who are career women and career dads, it really hits me like, what are you doing? Don't you appreciate even you where you come from? So thank you so much. Because I feel like it is us now empowering these women and telling them you are doing a good job and do not stop. If today I wake up in the office as a manager and I say I want to quit this job, because there are people who are negotiating within themselves, now if I leave this job and go take care of my kids, here I look like somebody who is now not learned. Make that decision. It is your children. What is more important? Because I have a billionaire I saw on LinkedIn, and he was saying, for him, what he did, he used his money to get a tutor, who will be flying with the family anywhere they are going, so that he can be teaching the children. And for him, he can have time with his children. And even he used to go with the children to the boardroom, such that at like 8 years, the boy would handle a meeting with board members. You see, there is a deliberate parent who has said, I am doing it. People will say, yes, I'm taking my children from one country to another, but they are my children, and I know what I'm doing. So even for this stay-at-home mom, I would tell you, what you're doing is a good job. And it is you first who stigmatizes yourself. You see, when you look like, people... You know, people do what you do to yourself. It is you first to come out. People tell me, ati wewe unashindanga kwa nyumba. Me, I will tell you straight. It is my family. There is no day I come to disturb you.
And it's a growing trend among some wealthy people now that they are agreeing. Yeah, you either work from home or quit the job. I'll take care of the expenses until our kids are around 3 years. Yeah, because a 3-year-old now goes to school, isn't it? So even if they have a house help, wanaka na house help a very short period of time, and then they're back to school again. Or by the time the child is coming, you're also back from the office. So it's not a thing that is about to be ashamed about. It's not something to be shy about. Stay-at-home moms are a good. They are actually the way to go. They are actually the way to go for people who want to raise healthy families, and they are able.
So now let's go to the challenges they face. These stay-at-home moms face.
Now, what you first mentioned, the stigma. You know, of thinking, hey, watu wananiona aje. That is one of the challenges that stay-at-home moms get to go through. The issue we talked about, they are more prone to stress and depression than any other kind of mother. Sababu sasa wewe mkigombana na your husband and then you come here, you are shooting, we are talking, you change environment, then you are able to deal with that and it becomes kind of therapeutic for you. But for this one, sasa bwana ameenda kwa ofisi kushinda, yeye anabaki hapo, sasa akipika, you know, those things now are become a burden to you because you're there on your own and you have no one to share them with. Another challenge is the lack of income, because some men don't consider that there is anything you're doing. And they can decide, see, I'm buying food, I'm doing shopping, and forget that you also have.
You have a life.
You have a life. So you find some of them become very neglected. Unapata nguo unless apewe na well wishers.
Donators.
They don't get to be bought clothes. They don't do their hair. They are not able to engage in projects or investments like other women, because other women have chamas because they know they have an income coming at the end of the month. This stay-at-home mom, sometimes it's just the 200 shillings your husband will live there for milk. And some men can be very, very mean.
Ulifanya nini na hiyo 200? Kwani iliisha haraka?
Hata hiyo 200, for some people, they may not see it. They may have men who enter the supermarket, buy everything from tomatoes to milk to everything. Wesema ile kitu unahitaji. So it can feel like it's a place where you're caged. They can have spouses who are not supportive and who keep rubbing it on them. Like you said, somebody who keeps telling you, hey, wewe ni nini unafanyanga? Unashinda hapa umekaa chini. And who can be cruel to them. It can also lead to a sense of loss. That I thought I would be somewhere at this time. Sasa niko tu hapa kazi nikula, and it can lead to bitterness. Some of those women can become bitter to a point that they start taking out their lack of progress on the children. So instead of benefiting the children by raising them with so much love that they become confident, they end up becoming abusive towards their own children. Out of the frustration, sina pesa, sina kazi, they take out that frustration on the children, and they can end up abusing the children that they should be taking care of to avoid the abuse. So those are just some of the disadvantages of being a stay-at-home mom. And also the prospect of a future. You know, this man can be the sole breadwinner, and then one day he's not there. Do you know how it can send you off balance?
And it can be frustrating.
It can be frustrating, and it can render you completely helpless. Labda umefukuzwa na in-laws, so you go back with children to your mother's house. So there are those disadvantages to consider when you're choosing whether to become or not to become. And if I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom in this day and age, how can I make sure I'm not just staying home, I have an income generating something. So like I belong to a ladies group where one of the agendas for the month of when we meet is to learn how to do skills like making of soap, making things like tomato sauce, making things. And you see, you can be a stay-at-home mom, but you're not necessarily just staying home waiting to be given. I'm a stay-at-home mom who makes soap. So all my neighbors know where
my clients.
Are my clients. I can be one who knows how to make such fine chapatis that mtu akiwa na wageni, it is me they are calling and I'm charging per unga. And I know women who have done that. So being a stay-at-home mom has its disadvantages, but there's a way you can become productive on your own without necessarily having to depend financially on a man.
Now, what are the advantages of being a stay-at-home mom?
The advantages, oh, that is for the children. When you're a stable and mentally stable and a stay-at-home mom, you tend to raise children who are very confident. You know, mtoto amekuzwa na mapenzi mingi. So your children become stable. Your children's performance kind of becomes better than that of the children whose mothers are absent. Their children become more mentally strong than the children who are being raised in fear, in intimidation, or without love. Because there are house girls who may not mistreat your children, but they have no time for them. So the children tend to grow up with a better
mental state
than children who are not growing up in that same space. You also protect your children because a mother at home ensures that first her children are well fed. So if you are a stay-at-home mom, hautakula malenge ya mtoto ama ukunywe maziwa yake ya nani kuje kusema alimaliza yote. You are making sure that whatever is bought, the children are taking. So you are ensuring the health of your children. By so doing, you are ensuring that they grow up well with proper nutrition. When we leave food for the house helps, it is by faith.
We live by faith.
Yes. Unaweza acha mkebe ya nani, si anajua inakuanga imefika wapi, and you have shown her that you measure.
Unga ya ugali.
Hata akose tu kupewa atola apewe maji. You know, but when you are the mother who's taking care of the child, you are sure of what the child has eaten. You check behavior. For a mother who works, it can take long for a child who is behaving a certain way for them to sense or see. I'll give you an incident of this mother whose child was being molested at home by a relative they were living with. The teacher is the one who noticed, hey, there's something the matter with this boy's behavior has changed. Because the mother leaves early in the morning, comes back late at night. So by the time the mother realizes, it will have taken long. Maybe it's when you're on leave and you're thinking it's because he's grown. But the teacher has noticed this child is quiet all of a sudden. But when you're at home with your children, their behavior, from the little bit things that they do, you are aware of them. For a time, I was a stay-at-home mom. And I remember, even going to the bedroom to see what they were doing, I would shout from the sitting room.
Unafanya nini?
Yes. Because their behavior tells me they can't be up to any good. I have learned them. Yes, I have learned my children. So sometimes you're able to see behavior of a child is changing and you're able to know the problem that the child could be facing or what they could be going through before it escalates. Some of the children, unfortunately, it's the teachers who are telling the parents that your children are on drugs. Na ni watoto wanaenda day school. Which means when you're not there, you are not observing. You're not able to observe change in behavior and act on it on time. A mother at home ensures the safety of her children. The videos we were talking about, children who are being thrown from seats, na house girl, anarushwa chini, anachapwa. Children of a stay-at-home mom will not experience that.
It's true.
Unless the mother is also mentally sick. But the children being left to other people, you are not in control of what is happening to them. So you ensure their safety, you're ensuring they're feeding well. And there's something we call attachment. That when a child grows with their mother, being sure that mommy will always be there, they develop something that a certain psychologist called Margaret Mahler called refueling. So you know what refueling is? Like your son, you go to somewhere and they are playing. They come back. And I was in your house one time and I saw your son coming back. Just to look at home. Mom. Alafu hata hakuna kitu unaambiwa.
He does that all the time.
Yeah, that's refueling. That child ameenda labda ametukanwa, feel small huko in front of other children, but they come and they call you mom. And that, nini, umechoka? Hata ana haja na wewe.
Anarudi huko.
Emotionally, my safety is back. He's refueled.
Wow.
Emotionally, he has been re-energized. He can go back and face the world. But a child who does not have a child, and even an attachment with their mother, what they do is that they'll go there, and when they get frustrated, they just jikunja. Yeah. Even during a party, you can find a child who, you can tell, children who have a good attachment with their parents. They go around, they come back to mommy, anakushikilia, alafu anatoroka tena, anaenda, anarudi. And that happens all the way to when we are grown ups. Children who had a mother who took care of them, was there for them, they tend to become more attached. So they'll go, hata kama ulikuwa unatandikwa mnakaanga na yeye hapo, mkirudi tu, mkimwambia vile alikuwa anawatandika, but there was an attachment that grew. So we are finding now with mothers who are preferring more to be away from the children, that we have children who are detached. So parents who are being left and with no one to take care of them. Unasikia mtoto, waliacha mama yao, the mother is suffering, and these kids are doing well, but they don't go back. There was no attachment. You focused on the wrong things at the wrong time. Yeah, so those are advantages of a stay-at-home mom. You raise children who maintain a bond that continues all the way to when they are adults.
Wow. I didn't know there's something like refueling. I just see it with my son going and coming back, and I'm like, si alienda kucheza. Si enda ukacheze. I didn't know it's called refueling. So if you're a stay-at-home mom there, at least you have seen the advantages it has on your children, and don't feel bad when people tell you that you just stay at home, you're only taking care of your children. Yes, you're taking care of your children because you want the best for them. So thank you so much for watching this episode. Shine with Njoki Kamanja Kathy. Remember, you're the light and you can shine.
Shine with Njoki Kamanja Kathy.